Hello, today I'm going to talk about one-to-one or injective function. Suppose that we have a function f from r to r and y, for example, is equal to fx. The function is one-to-one or injective if for any, this means for any, x1 and x2 from the domain of the function, if fx1 is equal to fx2, we can conclude x1 is equal to x2. And equivalently, if a is not equal to b, we can conclude fa is not equal to fb. If we take a look at the graph of a one-to-one function, so this is a one-to-one function. So if we take each of x1 and x2, we can say if x1 is not equal to x2, fa is not equal to fb. Basically, if we draw a horizontal line, it only crosses the graph of a function once. But if we, for example, take a look at this graph, we can clearly see if we have a horizontal line, and for example, for this point, x1 is not equal to x2, however, fx1 is equal to fx2. So this graph, this function is not one-to-one. Now let's take a look at one example. Suppose that f x is equal to x1, x plus 1 over 2x plus 5. We want to see if this function is injective or not. So based on the definition, if fx1 is equal to fx2, we want to see if we can conclude x1 is equal to x2. Let's solve this equation basically. fx1 means x1 plus 1 over 2x1 plus 5 is equal to x2 plus 1 over 2x2 plus 5. So now let's multiply top to bottom. And it's going to be 2x1 x2 plus 2x2 plus 5x1 plus 5 is equal to, now this way, 2x1 x2 plus 2x1 plus 5x2 plus 5. So 2x1 x2 is common, we can delete 5 is common, and 2x2 5x2, so 3x2 is equal to 3x1, meaning x1 is equal to x2. So we started from, for any x1 and x2 from domain, if fx1 is equal to fx2, and the conclusion 1x1 is equal to x2, meaning this function is one-to-one. We can later see the graph of such a function is going to be, for example, x minus 1. We know that this function is equal to 0 for x minus 2.5 is going to infinity. So the graph of this function, and for if x goes to infinity, is going to be 1 over 2. So the graph of this function is going to be something like this. And clearly we can see any horizontal line crosses this graph only once. So this function is injective based on the graph. Have a good day.